Hey, how's it going, guys? In this video, I'm just going to take you through the ownership experience of the 2024 Grand Highlander on just typical everyday roads. After you have a big snowfall, you got snow everywhere. What is it like to drive through? How does the all-wheel drive performance stack up? Does it stick to the ground well? Do you need to get winter tires, or can you use the ones that come from the factory that come stocked with this car? So we can find that out in today's video. But first, let's check out these tires and then we'll hit the road and see how it performs. So here on these wheels, we have Goodyear Assurance mud and snow tires. And also, if you look closely over here, these are 18-inch mud and snow tires, but they don't have the three-peak mountain tops, signifying that they aren't the best performing in snowy conditions. We also have this put on the tire here, Fuel Max technology. I wonder why that is. It's not the best on fuel economy if you have a heavy foot, but if you're a little bit liberal with your footing, it'll be just fine. We'll check out these drive modes before we hit the road. You've got your traction control off button over here, auto start stop button off, mud and sand, eco, normal, sport, rock and dirt, and the one that we're looking for here, snow. If you put this in snow mode, it'll adjust the suspension accordingly, and it will give you optimal driving dynamics to drive in snow or icy conditions. In this segment of the video, I'm taking the car through an unplowed parking lot where there's up to 2.5 feet of snow. Now I apologize, there is some wind noise in some of the other recordings because it was a very windy day that day and we had just got dumped with a ton of snow. That being said, the roads were completely salted, so this was our only option for some off-road but similar to on-road results. As we pass through this little hill here, you can see it gains traction very well, despite not having legitimate winter tires. These are the Goodyear Assurance all-season tires. They don't have too much tread, but they grip very well, even though the snow is very fluffy and not the best for the most gripping conditions. As we pass through this secondary hill here, this is actually the area that the snow is about 2.5 feet deep. And you can see we come to a stop here, and we have to back up because it is very thick. But that being said, as we proceed forward, we push through like it was never there, and it's very easy. And you can imagine how good this car would perform if you had proper winter tires. It would be incredible. This is the area that we just passed through with up to 2.5 foot deep of snow. So you can imagine if this was on a main road, you would not have to worry about getting stuck. This thing is just going to plow through any of it. No, I do got to say right now, I've been driving this thing around all week. We've got dumped with quite a bit of snow here in southwestern Ontario, and even though these things don't have the three-peak tires on them that signify they're of optimal performance, this thing just rips through snows just like a truck. I got a Ford F-150 4x4, that thing rips through snow. This thing rips through it probably 90% as well. So if you're looking for something that's capable, it's really, really good. It's also a very comfortable place to be. Look how much room you got back there. You can bring the whole family. So what's getting this thing through the snow so easily? Well, under the hood here is a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine with 265 horsepower and 310 pound-foot of torque. It's got plenty of power. If you want even more power though, you go for the hybrid or the hybrid max. You're gonna have 410 pound-foot of torque, 310 horsepower, and plenty of power that is class leading that will get you through any condition. As you drive through the snow, you'll see that the vehicle will decide whether the front wheels or the rear wheels need traction at any given moment based off of the terrain that you're driving through. Despite being a front-wheel drive bias, this Grand Highlander will give you traction wherever you need it, whenever you need it. If you're driving through nice dry pavement, you'll be primarily front-wheel drive. But if you're driving off-road or using one of the different drive mode selections, then the vehicle will change the suspension and change the traction control accordingly to make sure you have the most optimal grip. After driving the Grand Highlander through this thick snow, I just kept pushing forward because it always seemed to have grip. So, as you guys can see, this thing hauls through all kinds of snow. It'll haul through ice, everything. And let me tell you, going through this snow, this thick snow, is actually confidence inspiring. Like, I'm driving through it, I'm not nervous about, oh, am I gonna get stuck? No, you're driving through it and you're actually confident that this thing can get you through it, which is really nice, especially if you're someone who's buying this for your family and you're looking to haul them through it and you know you're gonna be facing some harsh conditions. You can have the confidence that this is gonna get you where you need to go. Despite being a small turbo engine, you can see this thing just pushes through snow and it has quite a lot of power. especially with an engine that small. To have 310 pound-foot of torque really helps, especially in any off-road condition, but especially in snow where you don't want to get stranded. All right, now that the driving's out of the way, let me just show you this little thing I found out yesterday. You know how if it's freezing and the wipers can get stuck to the windshield if you don't put them up in the winter? So over here, if you try to do that due to the way this hood is, you actually cannot get it up. So if you wanted to be able to do that, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to turn the windshield wipers so they're up higher so that you can actually lift them up. But there's a catch, and this is the catch. You go over here, you click this up, the wipers will engage. You click it up, click it back down though to get it to stop, and it won't work. Let's try that again. No, so they don't actually stop midway anywhere. So if you're the kind of person that wants to raise your wipers the night before to prevent them from freezing to your windshield, in this car, unfortunately, you will not be able to do that. So, is this car worth it? Is the 2024 Grand Highlander worth it? And the answer is definitely yes. This thing is incredible value for the dollar. You spend $54K on this entry level XLE in Canadian, you know, it is just an incredible deal. You know, you're gonna have things that are in the similar price point of all manufacturers, but over time, the reason you buy this is value retention. You put 60,000 kilometers on this, it's still worth 45, 48 grand. You put 200,000 kilometers on this, it's still worth 25 grand. You know, and if you're in the Hybrid Max, the Hybrid Max is gonna retain the most value, especially if you have a really pretty trim inside. It's gonna retain the value much better, and it's gonna be something that you can look at and not have to worry about such a hefty depreciation cost over time. So if you guys like this video, if you can smash that like button, if you can smash that subscribe button if you want to see more of this stuff, that'd be incredible. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.